Question. I think we need to add them to the agenda to speak on them, because there may be votes associated with them.
Under correspondence?
Yeah, I figured, just to make sure everything's done properly, I guess.
Okay.
Because these came to Deb late, so she didn't have time to.
Okay, everyone turn your microphones on. Okay. All right, everybody ready? All right. I'd like to call this meeting of the Southbury Planning Commission to order. Tuesday, May 21st, 2024, room 205, 7 p.m. Would everyone join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everybody. Let's see, seating of alternates, we don't need to, we're all here. Okay. All right, unfinished business. Continuing site plan modification, application, Citgo Gas Station, 56 Main Street North, canopy and signage.
It should be south.
What's that?
South.
South, yeah, typo.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Nadeem Shakur. I'm from SCI Fuel / Citgo. First of all, I just want to thanks for everyone for the opportunity for this meeting to come and explain what we're trying to do. I'm from, like I said, I'm from SCI Wholesale Fuel. We have a lot of site in Connecticut, all over the country there, and there's a lot of town, they have the restriction that we always try to, respect and just customize. I have some towns in Connecticut, they just go by the ladder on the canopy, no paint, and some town they can go only paint the color that we already submit. That's the color we would like to have in our canopy down there. And Citgo is keep putting pressure that we have to have some kind of identification there, and all this new graphic is not very fancy, not very flashy, it's just very nice, looks very nice. And we go by the town guideline, like originally we requested Citgo ladder and diamond sign, but that never get approved. And it's just, that's fine there. So we are here and asking, requesting that if we can have these decals on our canopy, it just looks good, looks very nice there. It just help for our customer to recognize the Citgo brand. And if there's anything else on the objection, this sign that needs to be, let us know. We like to, start this process as soon as possible, if that's okay with you guys there. If anybody would like to see this picture closely,
Everyone seen this?
everyone see
Already?
that.
Yep.
And any issue or anything?
Over the canopy, remember about the
For
canopy?
the record,
The
the lighting?
signs,
No, we're not doing lighting.
the signs cannot be included. in
Yeah,
the
that's
canopy.
right.
This is.
Yeah, no lightning, no ladder, nothing. That's it. We definitely customize the whole
This
thing.
commission's opinion on.
So this can go around the canopy, but, the signage, we can't have anything above the canopy, right? So no signage, but this color can go around the canopy. If everyone's comfortable with that, I mean, I don't see a huge issue with it.
And I thought I heard the answer. What's the illumination on it? Is there any on this?
I didn't think there was. No.
So it's not lit, okay.
No.
They have optional illumination we thought last time, but we dropped that because it doesn't go with the.
It doesn't fit into the regs.
Definitely we dropped that, yeah.
For the record.
Just state your name for the record.
You gotta be able to hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Coach O'Pela, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Coach.
You gotta say it into the mic.
Sorry.
You might as well just hang out here till we're done.
People out there listening.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Coach O'Pela, owner of the Main Street Deli, Citgo gas station.
Thank you.
anyone have any questions for the applicant or the folks from Citgo? Anybody? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We need to make a vote on that, right?
Yeah, so there's a draft agenda. Yeah, just like was previously discussed, the signage could not be included in the canopy due to our regulations not allowing signage above the existing ceiling height of the business. The existing ceiling height is within the Main Street Deli. The canopy for the gas station is much higher than that. So it essentially precludes any potential for signage to be included on the canopy. Our regulations don't have any call-outs for these decal options. So whether or not we move forward with this is up to the commission. I will make the comment that this isn't currently in existence throughout town. So where it goes from here
Right,
would
this was the first, I was just gonna say
be
that.
predicated kind of on this decision tonight.
Right. That's the resolution we're gonna read in there.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyone have any questions on it? I'll make a motion to approve it, the colors around the canopy.
I'll second it.
Okay. Let me read in the resolution here, and then we'll take a vote. Resolution 56 Main Street South, Zone B, 28, KPMM Realty Holdings LLC. This is the right one? Jordan? Yeah, okay. MBL 29-66-10, May 21st, 2024. Whereas the Southbury Planning Commission on 4/16/2024 received an application for a site plan modification data received by the Land Use Department on 3/13/2024. Whereas the proposed site plan modification would allow for the installation of a triform in a red or brushed aluminum vinyl decals to be installed on the face of the gas station awning. Whereas the commission makes the following findings with regard to this application. One, the applicant wishes to replace the current white awning face with vinyl decal designed by Sitco to display Sitco brand colors. Two, the vinyl decal shall come in primary fascia triform design and a secondary fascia triform design with percentage of each color to be determined based on the canopy area. Three, all proposed vinyl decals are to be remain non-illuminated. Four, no lettering, logos, or signage outside of the vinyl decals is included as part of this resolution. Whereas the commission finds proposed use as indicated by the applicant for the installation of this new triform vinyl decals in its keeping with the pertinent regulations of the Town of Southbury Planning Conservation Development. Now therefore be resolved by the Southbury Planning Commission's application be approved to allow, one, the installation of two primary fascia triform vinyl decals. Two, the installation of two secondary fascia triform vinyl decals. Subject to the following. A, the submission of the approval of the application to the Zoning and Building Department. Any change to the site, signage, building, or use will require a new review by the Planning Commission. Motion's on the table, second is on the table. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All set, passed. Okay. Under unfinished business, number 2, continuous site plan modification, Saki Asian Fusion Restaurant, 730 Main Street South, outdoor patio seating. Okay, that'd be Kevin, right? Yep.
Take care.
Good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Kevin Bennett. I'm here representing Across from the Green LLC, the condominium association at 730 Main Street, where Saki Restaurant is located. I had a conversation with Jordan in regards to this, and he had mentioned that you had some concerns about some of the safety issues of the seating in front of the building and what it was that we could do with it. We've had experience up and down Main Street in different places. If you notice, there's a lot of the wooden guardrails that we've been placed in front of our buildings and places that we believe that traffic could be an issue. I did bring some photos of the front. I did go down and look at it. Because of the nature of where it's located, it's on a slow-moving main drive through there. Everything is going parallel with the actual seating. There's no perpendicular driving to it. We felt that, it's been there since, I believe, around 2009, and we've not had any issues with it. Not to say that it could never have an issue, but it would be kind of difficult to put sort of bollards in front of the place. If the commission, insisted on that being done, we could do what we could to try to find a spot for them. But my opinion on it is that it's been fairly safe. There's a large curb, there's columns in front of it, the seats are set back, and the traffic goes across it parallel. That's a picture of the front. photograph, the seating is located underneath that overhang there, and this is basically the drive lanes. So at this end, we do have outdoor seating, and we do have the guardrails because the cars pull in there. Let me show it to the people next door. It's located right here. And what I was saying is on the end of this building, we have the guardrails because the parking pulls in straight. So we installed guardrails there, but there's no sidewalk. This is the seating underneath this overhang, and the driveway goes back and forth. This is the seating on the end of the building where we did add the guardrails because the cars pulled in. It's usually when you have a problem, when someone's pulling into the face, they hit the gas instead of the brakes.
This is the only area, Rich, I would call out, which is
So I'm not clear if they want
a
to
set
go
of
out or
the
if this is it. 'cause he said
seats
this
are not in line
the
with
overhang
the unit.
the
So
overhang.
1, 2, 3
So this is a
seating setups are in line with the unit and consistent with the unit layout. This one
Right,
seems to
right.
be outside. So that's the only thing I'll call out as
kid runs out.
possibly being something you guys might want to modify.
He's done it since
Maybe the
2009.
amount of seating,
Either
but
means safer, we're due.
I'm in agreement with Kevin regarding the patron drive area.
And then we have that daycare center.
Safety?
Yeah, it's quite a slow-moving area. The areas where, or the aspects of previous patron protection that we've called out of being a concern, the argument can be made that they're mitigated just by the overall layout of this current site. With Manami, we were concerned about Heritage Road travel veering off of Heritage Road and entering that patron area where this isn't really a consistent one-to-one comparison.
Are these planters existing?
Everything that's there, that picture was a week ago.
So that's some deterrent.
What's everybody think? Any comments on that side of the table? Anybody?
Is there anything creative that falls between nothing and a bollard?
It's the planters.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Well-
Is there any opportunity to add more planters there so that
I mean, we can always go. It's been
wherever
there
there's a road, somebody's, it could be a cause of an accident, you know,
Yeah.
and I know
I
it.
mean, the
It's been there
sidewalks are
since
dangerous.
2009, like Jordan said, they're using it, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, they've been lucky, right? But, I mean, there's always the chance that something can happen, right? So we need to address this in the safety issue of, you know, for the townspeople or the people that dine there anyway, so.
I guess my comment would be,
Yeah.
if there's room for a planter, don't we have room for a bollard?
Can they be put in? They probably could be.
And to Jason's point, you know, if we don't want to look at a bollard, is there something in between?
Well, the planters are a deterrent, but again, you get a vehicle moving at any sort of speed, and, you know, those planters would just explode, the dirt would fly everywhere, and they'd go through it, so.
What are the columns made out of?
The columns are 6x6 wood, but they have a Simpson plate in the bottom, and they're bolted into the concrete and up into the structure. For those to be hit, I do know they do stop the car, but they will break.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe they were like,
Jason's-
you know, the poles you hold the house up with, right?
Oh,
inside.
they're not steel I-beams, because it's only a little overhang on the
yeah.
front. The whole building is steel framed,
Yeah.
concrete deck, bar joists, but the little bit of overhang that came off the end of the trusses really holds no weight, so it's all 6x6 with the Simpson in the concrete and then
What do you
up
think?
at the top. They're strong, but they're not.
People sitting right outside.
That's right.
I hate to
Jason's
have it not
point,
happen, yeah.
something between bollards and these little planters. You know, some,
Now that it's on the table, we kind of have to do
Another design?
something, you know what I mean? Just so that if we didn't do anything and something happened, we look bad,
No,
right?
I understand that, but
That's all, so.
my only thing is, you know, at what point do you, I mean, you can start to say it's more dangerous, and I'm not trying to argue with you, it's a lot more dangerous to walk on the sidewalk with a 40-mile-an-hour Main Street than it is to sit in front of Saki, you know, with a 2 or 3 or 5-mile-an-hour driveway.
But we're only considering this.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, at what point does it become, how much can you protect the public?
I think you could improve those planters, for sure.
What do you guys think on that side of the table before we come back on this side?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see more planters. We were remarking that we had given approval a year or two ago to a daycare center that was in a parking lot and had bollards around it. So, I mean, that would be an extreme example of where you want protection. That this maybe, we don't have to rise to the level of that kind of security, but I would like to see something that maybe closes the gaps a little bit more, whether that's a more substantial planter or something that goes across.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it either way. I've put a lot of bollards in front of a lot of our buildings for that safety. I'm very conscious of that. But the problem is, I've been to Europe and sat on a cafe in the middle of the road, for crying out loud.
And I agree.
It's not Southbury.
What do you guys think down that end, Ron? Bob?
I would go, if the description of ballards being hit and dirt flying all over the place, I'm not ballards, planters, dirt flying all over the place, the answer is either get a more substantial planter or ballards.
Yeah.
We've had other restaurants come in that have outside seating, and we said to them that they've got to do something to prevent an accident. An accident is an accident, whether the cars are going this way or the cars are going that way. An accident's an accident. So there should be something there to protect the people.
Okay.
They're not
Real-
expecting it.
Real quick Google search.
Yeah.
They've got planter bollards
Yeah.
that are about the same size.
Okay.
I don't know what the
Have
cost
those?
is, and I'm not trying to
I
drive
see.
this thing through the roof, but
I've been to a place like
architectural fiberglass
You just added one
planter
in between
bollards.
these holes.
Yeah.
that. Right.
No, I know what they are.
Yeah.
I think if there's something more substantial that was some hybrid between a bollard and a planter, and we just filled in a couple gaps, that'd be okay.
There's really only 2 locations we'd have to fill in, correct?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the other
that's
one
what
is
it
the
looks like.
entrance to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, I would probably go down the road of the bollard, because we could drill them into to the ground. We use a galvanized 6-inch diameter steel tube, and then we fill it with concrete, and then we buy a cover that goes over it to kind of match the color of the building, and they have a reflective strip on them. I've put them, like, if you look where the thrift shop is at Bennett Square, we put about 8 of them across the front there, because we had the cars coming up to a flat sidewalk in the front of the building. So I put those in where the parking places were, with a spacing that, would be, I mean, a car would have to hit it perfectly in between to get through, so.
Bollards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good then, you guys.
Planter bollards that are not those ugly.
Well, they're not, they kind of go away,
See this? See that one?
Yeah.
That's,
If you're worried about the ambiance, something like that would be.
That one?
Well, they
in
start
that
to
one.
get really big is
Yeah.
the only problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are smaller ones.
Smaller ones down here.
Those round ones.
Yeah. Yeah. There's all different kinds.
We have time still.
We do have time still if we want to reconvene and reassess the bollard question and drill down on that so that it's included in the resolution and we have more of a formalized plan that we would be approving at the next meeting.
We can wait on 38 if you want.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh.
I was here at the convenience of the commission.
Yeah. What does everybody think? We can make a decision tonight, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
later.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if you make the decision, we'll do whatever
Okay.
you think you want to do, and you
All
write it up however you want to write it up, and
Sounds good.
it'll either be the planters or the bollards. I know how the bollards work, and I know that they work well.
5 choices.
I just would have to do a little studying on the,
Well, as far as the decision with Manami, it was a question of the actual patron protection that got used in that location, and it was Rich and I who had convened after the submission was finalized. And once we kind of came to an agreement on that, you guys were essentially of the mindset that whatever we came to an agreement on was approved by this commission. So if we wanted to do something in line with that today, we could move forward.
Yeah, contingent upon a request like this with you guys having essentially administrative approval.
Yeah,
And obviously, you guys all seeing
Yeah,
what's gonna be put in.
Of course.
Right.
Okay, let's do that.
So Ballard planters, not those
Bollard,
those what?
bollard planters or, yeah,
round things.
combination of the two.
Motion to authorize staff, based on the input from this meeting, to approve.
Second.
So that's second, Jason?
Second.
All right. All right, all in favor of approving the bollards based on administrative final, but to see the commission sees what's gonna be put in?
Planters.
Ballard planters, to be exact.
Ballard planters.
Ballard planters, let's get that straight.
We made a mistake at the pizza place.
It
All in
don't
favor?
matter.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, thanks, Kevin.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Jordan, did you want this for your packet?
We got a ton of them, actually.
Yeah, that's,
Well, they're all different, so.
Oh, okay, we'll keep them all.
I was using them for my own reference to show you.
Perfect, thanks, Kevin.
thank you, Kevin.
Unfinished business.
He asked you to say
I'm
that.
so, wait, no, we're up to,
New business.
new business, special exception and site plan application, Sicily Foods, 774 Main Street, South Flower Shop, just receiving only this evening. Okay, we're put on the schedule for June's meeting, which is June 15th?
Thank you, Doug.
June 15, room, June 18, excellent, room 205, 7 PM. Okay, under, what's that? Under new business, North Point Ridge subdivision, 75 Bucks Hill Road, request for the 90-day extension to satisfy conditions of approval. Gentlemen, are you, anything to say, or? I know we have a request for the extension for it based on the appraisers, right? That's as far as we got?
That's
Okay.
where we're at.
Okay.
It took us some time to get our approval through our attorneys.
Just tell us who you are in this.
Mark Nizzolo, Bucks Hill. It took us some time to get our approvals, and we sent it to, letter to Jordan and how you want to proceed. We've got two appraisers. One is where I like to be priced, $300 or $600, I think it was, right? And another one was $3,000. And I shopped around and got, those were the two extremes.
Do we
I
know
don't
why there
know
was a
how
big difference?
complicated it is. I mean, you have an assessment from the town.
Yep.
As long as they're close, you know, I mean, I don't, it's not complicated. One made it a complication at 3,000, the other one was 600, not complicated. So it's,
Do we know why the difference in price? Do we have any idea?
it's
Somebody wasn't busy as the other
Yeah,
one?
one guy's busier than the other.
That's what it sounds like.
one wanted to work and one didn't.
Must have too much work. And these were definitely under the restriction of neither one of us ever used them or the town. That was one of the,
So that went
Yes.
through
Beautiful.
the,
Okay.
Yes.
both the
Okay.
assessor as well as town council.
town council.
Both agreed that
Okay.
neither had been utilized by the town.
okay. Everyone had kind of perused through that? Everyone comfortable with that?
Yes.
So we need a motion to, I'll make a motion to,
Authorize?
to authorize the 90-day extension.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Thank you very
Also,
much.
if,
Thank you.
If you guys are comfortable with one appraiser over the other, you could make the decision.
Seems like a huge difference.
Yeah.
We don't want to get something that's not enforceable later,
Got it?
you know? So
Yep.
what is the difference? I think we need to know that.
Got it?
We can make that administrative one too, on that if we want. Right? Is that okay with the commission if we make that? We'll share it with everyone, but we'll just make the decision.
I'll generate some information from both entities and kind of display that to you all, and as long as nothing comes up as peculiar or strange that would warrant any further discussion, we can just move forward.
And then we'll
Maybe
get it
some reviews
with
of
you guys and
mine.
make a decision.
I don't, you know, the other thing is, if the appraiser comes in and it's way off base relative to your assessment, then we can reconsider too. I mean, I don't have an issue, you know, it shouldn't be that complicated. It's one lot. It's before the subdivision was approved, not subsequent to the subdivision. So it shouldn't, I think maybe one tried to do it after the subdivision was approved. You know, I don't know.
Wasn't this
I don't
approval
know.
based on the fact, according to Attorney McTaggart, that the appraisal was to be done after the subdivision was approved?
No, prior to it. The regulations are very clear.
I believe the regulations are clear in that, yes.
So it was prior to it?
I believe so.
Yes.
But I'll confirm.
She said in the meeting, she needed approval from us first in order to get the appraisal
I
done,
know, but that's not
right?
correct. That's not correct. Yeah.
Okay, let's want to make sure we're on the same page.
I'll figure
Okay,
it out.
Yeah.
okay, perfect.
Yeah, we want to see what the difference is for the product that we're paying for,
Might as well, right?
because we have to enforce it later.
Well, I get it, and
Objection.
I appreciate it. It's just that there's a big difference already, you know, so. All righty.
All right, thank you
very
guys,
much.
appreciate it.
Keep you guys updated, thank you.
All right, other business. Continued lot line revision, 221 Old Field Road, Brindley, Gainfield Golf Course.
Straightforward lot line revision. We've satisfied all the requirements. We were waiting on a narrative and health department approval, and they've submitted both of those.
Is that going to be affected at all by the bridge project?
What are we looking for tonight, approval on this, or?
Mhm.
Okay. Is there a resolution or something we need to read, or no?
No.
No? Everyone comfortable with this?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty straightforward?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second?
All in favor to approve the lot line revision for 221 Old Field Road, the Gainfield Golf Course? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Passed. Other business, continued discussion, First Light Solar Project, 2225 River Road. Is this just an update of?
I have no additional correspondence, and
Okay.
if you guys are comfortable moving forward, we can probably remove this as an agenda item, or if we want to continue to, touch base on this. But if I get any new information from First Light or any entity thereon,
We can always add it to the schedule
more
that
than
meeting
happy
when
to
you
Did
get it.
they agree to do a count before and after?
they did.
Oh, they did?
They-
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And did they also
That was part of
agree not to begin construction until after the fledglings have
Yes,
left?
they did.
Mhm.
So you want to take it off the agenda until further notice? Okay,
Okay.
let's do that.
Those are planters.
All right. Under other business, continued discussion, the bridge reconstruction, Poverty Road over the Pompano River. So everybody have that little bit of information that Deb sent us on that. Questions, thoughts on it? And Jordan, where are we at with that? Is just information noise for us?
Still informational, we just finished the public comment section. This is a long-going project.
Yep.
Formal plans to come when this all goes through, but, I think 2026 is where they're tracking, and it's a big project because it's gonna get fully funded. And there's a lot of,
And Army
A lot
Corps
of
is
hoops.
involved now.
absolutely, Army Corps will be involved when it comes to the permitting process, as well as inland wetlands, but we just haven't crossed that boundary yet.
Everyone's comfortable with that? Any more discussion on that? We're okay for the moment? Okay. We'll all be kept up to date with any changes. Let's see, under other business members' reports, Affordable Housing Subcommittee, there isn't anyone here for that, is there? Bob, are you still?
Yeah, I'm still on.
Excellent.
And Ron as well.
Oh, Ron Connie, sorry, hi, Ron.
Hi, I'm still down here.
You want to take this one, or?
Sure,
No,
No? Basically, there was lengthy discussion based on the selectmen's meeting and their comments as to what direction the Affordable Housing Subcommittee wanted to go in, rather than focusing on available properties. Is there alternatives to try to entice builders or investors to come into town and find property of their own that they can potentially develop, and what we can do to encourage that. So it was a shift in our direction a little bit, and we're still fact-finding and gathering, and
Okay.
that's about it right now.
Alex was supposed to send a letter requesting clarification on what exactly the selectmen wanted, basically. Am I wrong?
No,
okay, what exactly the selectmen wanted. We went over some properties that are available, but we said, it doesn't make any sense because we don't know what they want, what they're looking for. Okay, is it just, do they want just a developer to come in and go and do the housing? Or are they willing to form a committee, or, we don't know what they want. So we're confused on the committee about what they want. And the only way we're gonna get that is by asking them, hey, what do you want?
Yeah, when we talked about putting a meeting together, right, to discuss with them, remember that? We talked a little bit about that? Oh, you have it already?
That's that memo.
And this, everybody has a copy of this? Or no?
This should have got sent out.
Okay.
I believe we'd have to add it under
Oh, okay. We'll add it
other
under the-
business
Okay,
to read into the record.
okay, so we'll come around to that.
But, I mean,
We can do it now.
in a nutshell, it's a memo essentially saying, I think just that. I think it's beneficial that the Affordable Housing Subcommittee and the Board of Selectmen get in a room together and have this discussion. Is it more research that's needed? Is there a clear plan that both sides are in agreement on? Maybe one side needs to become more comfortable, or vice versa, just getting together and kind of having a meeting of the minds, per se. That's essentially the case that I brought forward in the memo. The order of operations is a little clunky, because it's a subcommittee as of right now, so the way I understand it
gotta go through
is
us.
anything that the subcommittee wants to do, or any avenues they need to go down, kind of needs to be directed by the planning commission. So that's why I drafted up a memo, kind of advising you all of what I believe would be beneficial, and then if you guys feel that that is the case, we can make a motion to move forward with that, and then the discussion can happen, and I'll kind of coordinate with Jeff and the first selectman and the board of selectmen to
Yes,
hopefully have a sit-down
I
meeting.
think that's important.
Deb, I believe did, but if it didn't go out, because honestly, I
we
gave you
have it.
guys a lot of memos. I thought it did, yeah.
I got,
Yeah.
yeah, we got it.
Okay, it was earlier in April, so I think it
May
was,
3rd, I got.
And
Yeah.
then the whole commission probably, if they want to go, can go to this. If they don't have to, we can just send one of us, I can go, whoever wants to go.
precisely, yeah.
However we want to do it, it's up to
Now,
the
the other
commission.
side of the question, should the town,
No, I mean, frankly, the Affordable Housing Subcommittee's charge is to kind of
Navigate
research this, navigate this, get their heads around it, and then kind of display it to the public. So I think at this time, that would be a little sooner,
premature?
precisely.
And then additional to that was the comments from the Board of Selectmen meeting with regard to, remember, the Pierce Hollow, yeah, that land with the tax change amendment, that they're still, sitting on it. There's a lot of, back, how do I put it?
History?
Yeah, and then there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that not everyone's probably familiar with regarding with the nonprofit status and the whole 9 yards of the property and the DEP issues that are there. And I think, I did talk to Jeff earlier today, and we did talk about, I think he might have mentioned to you about maybe hiring a planner and doing some type of a study for that, to evaluate what to do with that, and have him bring it to us so we have an answer for the townspeople on it.
Right.
So that might be something that we're gonna, we'll have something addressed to everyone, out to you guys in an email soon. I haven't talked to Jordan fully about it, but he did mention it today, that it probably makes sense to hire an independent planner to look at that situation in itself.
And get a
Because the
study out.
townspeople are asking, why are we not doing it? And so we have an independent person saying, here's why or why not, and here are the pros, here are the cons, and then kind of go from there. And the town we have some money in the budget to do it, so we can do it. So that's probably the next step, I would think, on that avenue anyway. But Bob's Avenue and Ron's, there's something that's imminent, like Jordan wrote this up, it needs to be done so that the Board of Selectmen knows that, we're carrying our end, they need to help carry the water too on their end. Okay?
And at some point in time, we've got to be very conscious of the fact that the legislature in Hartford has contemplated in the past reducing the amount of aid it gives to towns that don't achieve 2%. And we're at 4.7, and we were at 4.5, and now we're at 4.7. It just, we're just not growing to the 2%. So I hope the selectmen understand that.
But it's a guide, it's not a requirement, as long as you're working towards 4%.
Oh, no, it's a requirement. 2%, if 2% is what they were
10%
talking,
is the goal, right?
10% is the
Two-
goal, which I don't think we're gonna
That's
meet.
the minimum.
It's not a
No,
requirement.
10% is the goal,
What I just said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not a
But
requirement.
2%, the legislature, if I remember correctly, the legislature talked about if a town hasn't achieved a 2%, which is a moratorium type of thing.
Well, there's a certain amount, percentage you have to get to for towns that are applying for getting, blocking the 30G, which we don't have enough to do that yet.
No, we got no,
And
we
that's-
don't have enough to do anything to tell you the
I've
truth.
gone around a lot on this. It's whether or not the 10% is a goal, whether or not the 4% or the 2%,
Right.
whether or not any of these are an actual goal, is kind of a misconception. When a town reaches 10%, they should not stop advising and pushing for affordable housing. They no longer have to abide by the 830G appeals process. They now are subverting the
Yes.
appeals process, which allows them just a little bit more control. Southbury's been pretty lucky. I've spoken with a lot of different towns related to 830Gs and how it's affected towns. It breaks down to whether or not you have sewer. If there's sewer, then developers can really take advantage of 830G and really get really dense developments packed into small lots, really anywhere with impunity. We don't really have that here. We're having a slower go at affordable housing, kind of as a result of that as well, which allows us some benefits. It allows us to plan affordable housing in a way that's conducive for us. It allows a slowing effect of the 830G appeals process, of us getting just hammered with affordable housing developments all over Southbury. We can be a little bit more composed as this goes, but the reality is the need is still within the town. There's still people that are gonna show up to Board of Selectmen meetings and have a heartfelt plea for their situation, and you'd be, you know, unsympathetic to not hear those stories and kind of really feel for these people. So it's not really a goal, it's kind of a guideline. And once you reach 10%, we should still be shooting for more affordable housing based on the way the state writes it.
Everybody got a copy of the Litchfield,
Yeah.
thing, right? So that's kind of what's going on throughout the state, so you see that happening in different areas. That kind of correlates to what just, Jason was just talking about. I'm sure Jordan, I'm thinking Jason, loves looking at Jason. Getting old. You know, relying on the water, like you said, right? And so that's, you know, kind of gives us a little bit of a disadvantage because we don't have that everywhere. So that's gonna make it a little more difficult for,
It does and it doesn't. It does in the sense that you're not gonna get a rush of developers to come in. But it doesn't in the sense that if a developer finds a piece of property, he can develop it as best he can. You know what I'm saying? And he can put it anywhere he wants.
Mhm.
Because there's only two criteria, safety and transportation, I think, but it's safety first.
Are the ways that you as the town are able to appeal, as long as they can prove the usability of the site,
Yeah,
that's the only criteria they need to
those are
meet.
the only criteria, so somebody's gotta be conscious of the fact that somebody could come in and say, I want that.
Mhm,
And I wanna
absolutely.
put it right here.
And right now, that is the case that we're under, but the fact that we don't have sewer, it does help our case a little bit,
But
but
we don't have sewer on Roxbury Road either, and those people around Roxbury Road where they put in affordable housing,
Mhm.
they did it with septic.
yes, they did.
It's a smaller.
Well, now it's smaller. It didn't start out smaller, but be that as it may, it would be good to get a meeting
I agree.
or an understanding of what exactly.
and we will.
That's the-
It'll end up on the agenda,
Yeah, there you go.
no doubt.
It
make
bothers
sure
me
it
that
does.
the publicity keeps saying for Southbury residents, and those are the people who show up, they want their mother-in-law or their children, and it doesn't prioritize Southbury residents.
You can't. And I've drilled down on this too. You can't prioritize age, you
No.
can't prioritize Southbury residents,
Right.
it's,
But that's not in any of the publicity, that's never mentioned.
But you see, that doesn't figure into the equation. Okay, that's not part of the equation. The only criteria are what they said, safety and
Transportation.
transportation. Those were the only criteria.
The public needs to be
So
informed.
tomorrow, if somebody wants to come in and put one on Main Street, you know, we The POCD requires how many can be on a lot. That we've done. And 30% of that has to be affordable. That's in the POCD. So, those are the only two, those are the kind of requirements we have, and that's the only control we have.
Close. Right? Okay. Sounds good. Anyone else have anything to add on that affordable housing topic? All right, thank you, Ron and Bob and Jordan. All right, let's see.
Would you like to make a motion to
Yeah,
approve a sit-down with the Affordable Housing Subcommittee and the Board of Selectmen?
yeah, it's a good idea. I'll make a motion that we get on the agenda for the Board of Selectmen with whoever wants to come from the Planning Commission and the subcommittee to meet with them to, let them know how we're gonna blaze this trail and what
Yeah.
makes sense for the whole town.
It doesn't have to be the whole board. I mean, just
Whoever wants
a
to show
couple
up,
of
it's fine.
members and a couple of.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Would be the smart way to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't have to overwhelm them.
Yeah.
Just so I understand, is the request to get a spot on the normal Board of Selectmen agenda or to have a separate meeting for this?
I was thinking a separate
Ah.
meeting for this.
Meeting.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood.
Thank you for clarifying that, Jason.
Yeah, because I'm not sure there'd be enough time to get on the regular. Maybe there would be.
Right, and I think the conversation could
Yeah, yeah,
spin in a
spin
lot
off.
of
You could
different
probably have a
directions.
better conversation
Yes.
in a
Yeah,
specific
I agree.
meeting.
So for a special meeting with them.
Informal.
So the motion on the table, we just need a second?
Second?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you, that works.
In the same language.
All right, let's see, correspondence. A Connecticut Water Company water diversion permit application for Judd Hill Road Public Water Supply interconnection, Middlebury, Connecticut. Where are we at with that?
No, it's just for your information.
Okay.
Type of notification. Connecticut Water will be doing a tie-in to the Middlebury Water Interconnect.
Do we
I
have-
believe it's like 500,000 gallons of increase, and the interconnect's already existing. They're just gonna be diverting more water.
All of
Diverting water.
those pages, though, nothing ever mentioned the power plant in that diversion of water. They say Oxford, Middlebury, but they don't talk about all of the water that goes from this system to the power plant.
The power plant generates water through its turbines to generate electricity. The water that
No.
Connecticut Water generates
Cool also,
is from our aquifer.
and also to cool,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
I just don't think it has any bearing on the Connecticut water diversion application.
you don't,
The Chippewa Dam,
yeah,
I don't see how it can
okay.
play with one, interconnect with one another.
You okay with that?
If there's anything you want me to drill down on, Nancy, I'm happy to. I just don't see the correlation there.
Why did you bring up the Chippewa Dam? This is the diversion permit.
Yep. I thought you did. I apologize.
Okay, okay,
Are we on the same page or no?
no.
Okay.
At this point, I'm not sure.
All right, how about you guys talk off
That sounds good,
After
Nancy.
the meeting, or-
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
on the phone, so you guys can figure out which one you're both talking about. Sounds good. If everyone's comfortable with this correspondent,
Yep.
do we need a motion to add B and C?
B and C, as well as, you all got the Streetscape Review Committee.
Yes, I'll make a
as
motion
well.
to add, let's see, correspondence B, memo administrative request, 1449 Old Waterbury Road, asphalt repair. Get a second?
Sure, second?
All in favor of adding?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And then, let's see, under C, we'll add memo from IBN Corporate Office and Future Use Study. I'll make a motion to add that.
Second?
All in favor of adding?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And then we have one more to add. The formation of Streetscape Review Committee. I'll make a motion to add that to the correspondence list as well.
Second.
All in favor of adding that to the agenda? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, let's start with B, administrative request, 1444 Old Waterbury Road asphalt repair solution.
Yep, so the memo essentially lays out that Asphalt Repair Solutions has been operating out of the office building at 1449 Old Waterbury Road. I believe Ion Bank is looking for a statement of zoning compliance for their mortgage. It's a pretty straightforward operation. However, when our land use enforcement officer dove into the file, they couldn't find any administrative or commission approvals for a special exception to increase or to add a new office use in the office building. It's an office in an office. It's pretty straightforward. However, our regulations still dictate it as a special exception approval. So as a result, I ask that this commission allow for administrative approval of that application so that we can expedite their process and get them to the finish line a little sooner.
I'll make a motion for administrative approval on that.
Authorize?
All in favor? Oh, second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Abstentions? Jordan will take care of that in-house.
Thank you very much.
All right. C, memo for the IBM Corporate Office Future Use Study.
Did everyone get a chance to look at the memo?
Mhm.
Would you like me to read it into the record?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, is it a long one?
Yeah.
That's the long
Long.
one.
That's the long one.
Yeah,
But, I mean, if you all got it, it'll be under the minutes.
yeah, we can just have it as file.
I think we all
Yeah.
understand the gist of it. It's a pretty looming
It's been coming for a while. Yeah.
idea, yeah. So, they have signaled that they're willing to listen to the town as far as any future design plans that we have. My goal is to really just, work with a subcontractor. We'll put out an RFP for a future use study and get something on the books similar to what happened with the training school back in 2012, which unfortunately at this point is kind of a old study. I don't know how much bearing it has anymore, but the hope is that if we get a future IBM study on the books, that this will be something that would be coming down the pike in the future. There's a list of potential uses that this site could be. As just an addition to this, as we continue to look through this, if you guys do approve a future use study, I thought a good idea, and I have an opportunity to get myself and any commissioners that would like a tour of the summit in Danbury, which is the old Union Carbide building. They're going through quite a lot of retrofits, figuring out how to really utilize that old corporate building for new services, whether it be for residents or corporate offices or what have you. So that's really where this is going. If the commission would like that opportunity, I can set that up, but this is where we're at.
What did they use as their process? Did they hire a planner? Did they hire, you said contractor, but,
With the summit,
yeah, what did they use?
the summit's gone through a number of iterations. It used to be the Matrix building.
No, but how did the planning come about? How did
I've
the-
not researched how the planning came about.
Okay, because I think that's a key for us, too.
Mhm.
To hire a contractor would probably
No,
not be a good idea, what you said contractor, but
a contractor to do the study. My apologies.
planner?
A planner to do the study, an engineering group to do the study.
Okay,
Mhm.
yes,
Yep.
that sounds, yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Thank you for that.
And that would be from our budget.
Mhm. Which now we're looking at multiple studies. So now the question becomes, which do we need to act on now? Is there a budget from possibly doing both? So that discussion will obviously have to
Depends on how,
move forward.
the cost of each one.
Precisely.
Right, I think we have a decent amount in there. We have to just know what we're up against.
Yeah, so moving forward with RFPs for these, I'd be happy to start drafting those up, just to get the ball rolling, and so we have this information ready to throw out at a moment's notice, but I see it as a worthwhile project in the coming year.
I agree.
Quick question. What are the general, you'd mentioned the training school and how that study now no longer kind of makes any sense. Is there a general rule of thumb that future use studies, assuming the world doesn't change dramatically, last 2, 3, 7, 10 years? What's?
I would wager that there's still aspects of the training school study that still have merit. I would just wager that 12 years passing kind of changed the picture for Southbury. I know since I came in to this office alone, there's been a few changes that we've gone through, and watching kind of the last 5 or 6 years, quite a lot of changes have happened. So that's kind of why I say it's a bit outdated with just everything that's gone on in the world at large. But I would wager that there's still a lot of merit to that study as it currently exists.
So if we were to okay this study, a minimum 5 years would be a reasonable lifespan that this document or study would live. And, you know, hopefully, knock on wood, we have some real work happening at that site long before that 5
Right.
years is come and gone. Okay.
Yeah, and I really, I mean, it's a corporate future use study.
Yep.
Southbury Training School is a little bit different, so I don't really see the corporate picture changing so drastically that this would be a moot study. But really just signaling to IBM and any future developers where Southbury's mind is and what Southbury would be amicable to approving and moving forward would kind of give a developer the idea that, you know, it's worthwhile to them.
Jordan, in addition to the site visit to the project in Danbury,
Mm-hmm.
if possible, if the opportunity presents, maybe a site visit to the IBM campus as well. It's been a lot of years since a lot of us have been up there. And to try to get a feel for how it exists now and
That's a good idea.
a vision as to,
I've never seen it,
okay,
so I would
if we could set that up
very
then.
much like that
Be cool.
opportunity as well. So I
Yeah.
will pull at whatever strings I can to try and get that set up for us. Yeah,
Okay.
that,
you.
that sounds definitely beneficial.
That'd be great. All right.
So
We don't need to vote or do anything on that topic. It's
I will
just a-
move forward with RFPs.
Okay,
I will start drafting them up for both of these, and
okay.
we'll take it from there, and I will,
Everyone good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
yeah, we'll get some set up site visits as well.
The
All right.
process that we use for Southbury Training School involving the public also
Mm-hmm.
would be.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
definitely. That would be required. Because we'd want to know, you know, is there a potential, you know, public use that we could generate out of the site? I know the bridle trail used to cut through there. Can we reconnect it? There's, you know,
All right, cool. All right, moving right along, any other correspondent, let's see, from, Planning Commission from Jordan, formation of Streetscape Review Committee. Does everyone have a copy of this?
Don't we have one?
No.
Streetscape?
we had a streetscape committee, they've been disbanded. The Streetscape Review Committee would be put in place to essentially do just that, see where the streetscape is today, any areas that could be expanded, if we should start looking to Poverty Road for some extensions of our current streetscape, or Main Street South by 172, as well as some of the changes that we've seen as of this week. You know, the banners went up. Do we like them? Should we more define things as it relates to banners? Any future banners that we'd like? Things like streetscape decorations when it comes to the holidays. I know the Land Use Department got a outsized number of calls during Christmas saying, what are we doing about decorations? Are we doing anything? It seemed like we were getting, you know, overshadowed by some adjoining municipalities, but that's the goal of the memo before you.
Some years ago, we did a study, and then, I think last year or the year before, they appropriated money to go from Main Street South down Poverty Road to the library. Where do we stand on that?
That's news to me, so I'll be happy to look into it and talk with Jeff about any appropriated money, as well as Blake Leonard, to see if
Yeah, 'cause
Public Works has
it's been
any
a while.
information about an extension already being appropriated. I'd be curious to hear about that.
Can we reach out to the people who were on the committee originally, because they have a fund of information?
So in the memo before you, I make a couple recommendations as to who I believe would be valued members of a streetscape review committee. Police is one. Economic development has a lot of experience with utilizing the streetscape and budgeting for the streetscape with their American flags. Police would definitely be one that we would want to touch on. I don't know if I said Public Works already, but I also included at least one former member of the streetscape committee.
Good.
And I've spoken with two of them, and they seem like they would entertain the idea.
Good,
Okay, very cool. I think it's a great idea.
And I will have to say, Commissioner Harrison really brought this on in an earlier discussion about a lot of the tree pruning that was going on, and what, if anything, we have a voice when it comes to these things, especially when Eversource wants to make modifications. They're willing to do replacements. And just a a louder voice when it comes to the streetscape, because it's a great feature of our town, I think would be beneficial for us at this point, and staying quiet with these items, I think is not wise. So, thank you, Commissioner Harrison.
Okay, excellent. We don't need to make a vote or anything, that's right, this is just gonna be automatically added to your agenda for us to start to research, correct?
I've never formed a subcommittee, guys, to be honest with you, so.
That was gonna be a question of mine. Who does this subcommittee report up to? Kind of like affordable housing, it goes up to planning?
That would be my guess. That would be the order of operations. You guys have always kind of had the role as it relates to streetscapes. That would,
So then we would probably have to vote to form a subcommittee.
I mean, I'll make a motion to, create a subcommittee for the formation of the Streetscape Review Committee.
Second?
And then we'll use this memo from Jordan as the basic guide for details for the moment regarding,
yeah, and we
You know,
can
who should be
generate
on it
a mission statement. We can
Yes.
start reaching out to potential, volunteers for the Streetscape Review Committee.
Jordan, should we bring, do you want to bring it to the EDC?
Yes,
On the
I think
agenda?
that's, yeah, because I think that would be great. At least one member from the EDC, just to bring that knowledge of budgeting and,
so we got zoning and planning, maybe one member from each of those.
yep.
This way we
thank
stay
you.
away from the whole quorum thing. just in
And that's
case.
why I was gonna ask my
Yeah.
second question, what parameters we have, because your memo says at least one from, and we obviously don't wanna have quorum issues, and we don't have a committee of 49 people either.
Right.
So,
And a lot of us are already on extra committees, we're thin here, so we have to decide who we want to do that. That will make sense, okay.
I'd pinch hit on this one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
And former members.
yeah, and former members, if you can get them, that'd be great.
Oh, I'd be happy to. Yeah,
Okay.
So I'll reach out to them.
All right, so the motion's on the table, we need a second.
Yeah, I second it.
All in favor of forming the subcommittee for the streetscape review?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, Jordan, you have the ball on that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, guys.
All right, let's see here. Meeting minutes, April the 16th, 2024. Let's see, Peter Homick was the only one, let's see, he was absent, so he's not here anyway, so he can't vote. So anyone have any changes, additions, or anything you see for or against the minutes?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second?
All in favor of approving the minutes of April 16th, 2024?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are approved. Any other business that's properly brought before the commission? Anybody? Anything that pops up? Oh, Jason, how we doing with,
Slow and steady, sir.
okay. Looking for an alternate for Mr. Scarlett's position. We're still, so if anybody knows anybody who pops up, give Jason a holler and we can get that squared away. All right?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor to adjourn? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.